Hey guys, I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Back today with another video. Again, another Hot Toys figure. My Hot Toys collection is quickly growing. Again, more Spider-Man goodness. I do have a couple of Spider-Man Hot Toys as well as statues. So it was nice to add this one. Obviously, you can see the branding there. This is from the Amazing Spider-Man 2 or the Amazing Spider-Man. This was recently re-released. I believe there is a version 1, which I don't have. This is technically Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man from No Way Home. I think something to do with licensing. I guess this was the one and only way, perhaps, that Hot Toys would be able to release an Amazing Spider-Man figure based on No Way Home. Right? There is no Way Home branding. This is essentially branded as the Amazing Spider-Man 2. For me, is a No Way Home version. You guys could see there in the awesome action pose, the Amazing Spider-Man. Here again, the Spider-Man logo and just some, credits there. And again, box is really nicely done. Some nice glossy artwork. Hey guys, welcome back. Here we are out of the box. Finally got Spider-Man here, and he looks pretty cool. So let's go over first some of the accessories before we dive into Spider-Man here. The base itself, it's labeled or named after the Amazing Spider-Man 2, of course. This is a No Way Home release, so I'm going to assume that using this branding was probably one of the ways they could get Amazing Spider-Man out to us to coincide with No Way Home. But a really nice base. You've got the shiny there Spider-Man logo from that movie and Amazing Spider-Man here, your standard Hot Toys base. Along with that, you do get this bendy stick. You can sort of the pole, you could put it in different poses and sort of help Spidey look like he is swinging or jumping. So again, that is something that you do get. Along with that, you do get your standard Hot Toys clamp. So again, that's something you put in here and it'll help you with the posing. So that's really cool. Standard by this point with all Spider-Man figures for the most part from Hot Toys is you get a pretty big selection of all these different web effects. So either whether it's shooting webs or webs here to look like he's swinging, you get a couple of them here in this styrofoam rack here, different lengths. You also get stuff like this, which again, this is a swinging, or like he's swinging and it's got this extra webbing here on the side. I think I have a couple of these for my other Spider-Man figures. So yeah, you get two of those, which are pretty standard at this point with all Spider-Man figures. You also get this one, which again, I have a couple of these that came with my other Hot Toys Spider-Man figures. So if you've seen those before, these are pretty much the same. You do get additional hand joints. So just in case you end up breaking those, because sometimes the hands are removable. So sometimes these can break. So I'm glad they gave you extra. So you get two extra ones. The hands that you see on them, he didn't come in with those, so he comes in with these fists, which are pretty nicely detailed with the raised webbing. And again, these are both. So I took those off and put in the hands that you see there, which kind of look like these reaching out or holding out hands. But as you guys can see here, if you get this figure, you're going to have quite a bit of options, right? You got your standard webbing hands, sort of reaching out hands. He's got two pointy finger hands. He's got a piece one, and of course, more hands to hold his webbing. Here you see there's some little pieces to help out with the web effects when you put those on. So of course you can always sort of take these out. I'm assuming the pointy hands here are here to emulate that whole meme of all the different of the two Spider-Man pointing at each other. So that is really cool. That's something you can add in. You've got him giving you the peace sign. And again, these hands are well sculpted. Kind of a little bit of soft plastic, but they're well done. You can see here they also give you the option for these hands. These are for the web effects, so that when you're using those, you can use these hands for that. And of course, you have to have the classic shooting web hand here, but you can Those pull out, and you can put the new ones on there. Essentially, you pull these out, the joints there, and you kind of put them on. So you do get quite a bit of options from a hand standpoint. Probably the bigger accessories for me with this one is the first one being the fact that you get a mask. You get a Spider-Man mask, which is made out of the same material that's on the figure itself. And again, pretty cool. It's a little stretchy. You've got the raised webbing, and you've got those dark lenses. And I love the little details. Almost reminds me again of a fly on those big lenses. So that's really cool. You do get this. So, but the reason why I guess we sort of have this is because this is being based on a movie. We have Andrew Garfield here, right? And it looks really cool. It looks really well done. Again, I love the sculpted hair. Love the detailing there. The face itself, I want to say it's a very good likeness. It's not necessarily one-to-one, but it looks pretty close, especially from certain angles. Obviously, you can make out like, hey, that's supposed to be Andrew Garfield. I won't say it's the exact recreation because it's not. There's just something slightly off about it. But what you do get, I think, is well done. I love the skin tone, love the eyes. You know, again, the sculpting on the nose, the lips. It's really cool. And this does have its own articulation. So there is a ball joint in here that you can move. I use this to move the head left and right and slightly up and then down. So you can take that out. You can see there's a ball joint here on the neck. Mine was a little hard to maneuver, a little stiff, so I had to end up taking the head off and moving this back and forth a couple of times. If you do find that yours it's a little hard to move, I would not force it. I would take the head off and try to see what you could see in there. But again, there's a articulation there, and you could see the suit is part of the neck. And I think what's there, I do like, again, I do like this head sculpt. I'll probably end up displaying him with this head sculpt, as I do have the Toby coming. That one I'm hoping to display together with this one. But this is a really good head sculpt nonetheless. So moving on to the figure itself, you guys could see him there. More slender body, I would say. It's a little smaller than my other Spider-Man figures, which I'll show. I'll do some comparisons in a second. The suit is darker. I'm assuming is meant to emulate what was shown in that movie. I know there's a version 1 of this figure. I do not have that. This is the only version I have, so I really don't have a point of comparison other than my other Spider-Man figures. But I think the blue is well done. I think it's like a dark, and again, it's got some sheen to it. Very shiny, stretchy material, and looks really cool. The webbing, I appreciate the raised webbing on the the spider web design there. So that's really cool. Here's some underneath the shoe, Hot Toys Limited, but there's some detailing there. But the blue is really well done. The red pattern, again, with the webbing is raised. So as you run your finger through it, it's got a little bit of a 3D effect feel. You've got the head here, which again, it's head, the spider logo here on the chest. Let's give you a bit of a closer look that again, it's raised. So that is really cool. It feels really nice in hand. And again, same thing here, moving on. You got the whole raised Spider-Man webbing on the red uniform. So that's really cool. The material here, again, probably for posing, it is the type that will get wrinkles and creases if you do leave it for a long time. So again, just something to be aware of. The hands here, of course, are plastic. And you can pull these on and off. Sometimes they're a little hard to pull off, so I'm not going to play with it too much. You got your shooters here, your web shooters on the insides. So that's really cool. And this is a bit loose, so you can play around with it, with that. The head itself, let me pop the head out. And this had an interesting way. For some reason, I thought it was under the neck, but it's actually the whole thing. So you see it's like a a little plastic plug that goes into there. But the head itself here, again, I like it. I like the lenses. A little dark for me because usually I'm so used to seeing like the lenses on Spidey being like white. But I do appreciate this one again, the bug-like or fly appearance in the lenses. I appreciate the raised webbing with the red material looks really cool. And there is a ball joint in here, but it's you got to be careful because you'll be moving some of the suit with it. So I wouldn't necessarily force the head too much for fear of perhaps causing a tear on the neck section here of the suit. But it does have some articulation. You see here the seam. I'm assuming this is where they were sewn in this thing together. And of course, there's a part for the plug itself. Now, as far as Spider-Man himself, again, continuing on with the suit, this nice dark blue. The back, you get more the Spider-Man back symbol here in red. Again, the long slender legs on the spider, really cool. You got more detailing here on the waist, and again, you see some of the seams when they've sewn in the stuff there. But the suit itself looks really cool. Again, the body, I'm assuming they try to model it after the movie. He is a little lanky, which to me makes sense for Spider-Man. As far as movement, you can move the head slightly to the left and right here. But again, as I said, because the mask is part of the whole neck section, just something to be very careful with. You don't want to cause any tears. And then if you start forcing like the neck too much, this is how I found out that the neck piece it's connected, because I was sort of messing with it and I pushed it slightly too much to the left and the head came off. But again, just something to keep in mind. I think they do manage to blend in this section here really, really well. I mean, there's a seam there, but it's, to my eye, barely noticeable when you're taking a glance at it. You can move. He's got ratchets here on his arms, but again, this being a Hot Toys figure where they have the fabric on the material on the suit, you are going to get the wrinkling here. And I'm going to assume that over time, if you leave this in a certain position, you may get some damage. But again, it's a Spider-Man figure, so you should pose it. Moving this down, the ratchets, the arms, at least on mine, don't move up and down like some Spider-Man figures. You can reach forward probably about that much, but again, you're going to get some wrinkling. And same thing here, you can move it back. But again, you get some wrinkling there. Elbows, he does have elbows, but again, you're going to get the wrinkle there. So just something to keep in mind. I mean, these Hot Toys figures, because they use this fabric material, you just have to be careful with the posing. The hands here do move. They're in a ball joint. You've got a bit of a articulation there that you can play around with. There is some ab crunch. I think feels like there's 2 joints in there. So that's probably about as much as I would feel comfortable putting it down. I wouldn't go past this. Again, you're going to get the bunch up of fabric there, so just something to keep in mind. On the back here, yeah, it's almost got a joint here and a joint here that you can use to move back. But that's probably about as far as I would go with this. And you can get him back. Legs, that's probably about as far as I would go. Again, you're going to get that bunching up here. Let's see. Kick forward, probably about that much before you start getting some, bunching up here. Knees, same thing. You can bend them back, I think, comfortably. But again, you're getting some stretchy and some creases here. The feet here, again, there's a little bit of movement this way, back and forth, and then you can roll it, but I would not. It feels very delicate, let's say, but you do have some movement there in the ankles. I just wouldn't go around putting too much stress on those. And you can rotate the feet here slightly. Looks like you're moving some of the muscles around on the body. But overall, I mean, again, Spider-Man figures are supposed to be, I think in my eye, extremely poseable. This one's not too bad. Again, for a Hot Toys figure, um, he looks pretty good to my eye. Again, another representation of Spider-Man. Can't go wrong with you know, not adding this to the collection anyway. You do get your instructions, and in here they do go through, how to take off the head, go through the hand, replacing the hands, sort of adding the web effects, the stand. They kind of give instructions on how to hold the mask, etc., and they tell you, don't pull on the ankles, to avoid damage, etc. So I would definitely recommend taking a look at those. The head itself, again, it's really cool. I mean, I think this is one of the first few figures, Spider-Man figures anyway, where they've included the actor likeness that I have. I know they have a whole bunch, but this is my first one. I'm hoping to get Toby and maybe even a Tom Holland figure at some point. But I think with the head here, I think it's a really good likeness. I especially like this side profile for him, maybe even holding the mask in his hand. I wasn't able to find a good way to hold the mask in place. So I'm kind of still playing with that. Maybe he'll hold it by the lenses, but sometimes it just kind of falls. But not a huge thing. I think what's been included here, I do like. Again, I don't have a point of reference for the older figure. I will say from a body standpoint and a suit standpoint, I do prefer the other figures that I have in my collection, but this is by no means like a terrible figure. I do like that, and again, I'm trying to do a little No Way Home figure collection, so this is the start of it. Alrighty, guys, so we're gonna wrap up this one. I mean, not much else to say. I do like this figure a lot. I'm actually very excited to finish my No Way Home sort of Hot Toys collection. I do have Toby, and I'm hoping to get a Tom Holland at some point in the near future. But I think what we got here, as far as the Amazing Spider-Man, I do like the suit. I think it looks nice, and I think it's a good representation of what was in that movie, and that Spider-Man. The neck's a little weird, the whole neck situation, but I mean, it works out. No big issues for me. And I do, again, think this Spider-Man figure looks really good. So for some comparisons, here he is next to a, again, not movie-related one, but that is the Cyborg Spider-Man suit from the PlayStation game, but also from the comic book, right? So again, give you a bit of a comparison there. The material is kind of similar, except that this has like a bit of a shiny sheen on top of it. So just want to show that. Here he is next to the classic suit Spidey, again from the, this is classic suit Spidey, but they mentioned it's from the PlayStation game. But again, just showing the differences and similarities there. The suits are very similar. This is just more of a movie representation of again what's here. Obviously the Spider-Man logo is way different, but again, same thing. This material is pretty similar to this, except this has a bit of a shiny sheen on it. And then moving on, let's move classic Spidey, and let's put the advanced suit, again from the PlayStation game. This is version 1 of that suit, and I think that looks really cool. I like having all these different Spider-Man representations together. Again, similar suit material, but again, this has more of the sheen, and also the red parts of the suit are more like cloth-like material versus these. Obviously, the suit is all made of the same material, so that's really cool. And we'll see if we can throw in classic Spidey in there, so you could see all 4 of them together. But again, I'm very happy to have this one. Again, I appreciate having the likeness here of Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker Spider-Man. Again, not an exact one-to-one representation, but it's nice to be able to have this added to the collection. Anyway, thank you so much if you made it to the end. If I missed anything, you have any questions, again, feel free to leave a comment. Always willing to help out anyone out there. But if you made it to the end, thank you so much for your very valuable time. I will catch you next time, perhaps with more Spider-Man. Take care.